ask you this, my brothers and sisters. Do you have a relationship with Jesus Christ? I'm talking about a real relationship. I'm not talking about one that, you talk to him every once in a while. It's just like men and their wives. If a man only talked to his wife every once in a while, well, that's not good. But Jesus wants to have a relationship with you so that spiritual abundance will be yours, that you would be heirs to that spiritual abundance, that spiritual joy. Psalms 36:8 says, they shall be abundantly satisfied with the fatness of thy house, and thou shalt make them drink of the river of thy pleasure. Oh my God, what a great and mighty God we serve. See, God has already stored up these treasures for us. All we need to do on this Monday is what I say all the time. When you get up in the morning, you get up and you get down. You get up, you get down. You get up out the bed and you get down on your knees and you begin to repent and you begin to thank God for his son, Jesus Christ. And you begin to have gratitude and an attitude of gratitude of the price that was paid for you, and that spiritual abundance you can have. And we need that, because we have sisters and brothers, we have children and mothers and fathers and widows and orphans and fatherless children that we need to help. So if you're going through a dry stage right now, my brothers and sisters, remember, there is a way out of your mess, and it's JESUS. Why don't you call on him?
Where can you buy a brand new Nissan with a lifetime warranty? Kingston Pike. Hey, folks, Gerald Anderson with Ted Russell Nissan. You heard it right. Every new Ted Russell Nissan comes with a lifetime warranty, and that's a long, long time. Ted Russell Nissan on Kingston Pike.
Good morning and welcome to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Ask Your Neighbor can also be heard and seen on our website, WYSHradio.com. And if you are in Anderson, Rome, or Morgan County and have Comcast cable, you can watch Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV Channel 12. Ask Your Neighbor is the program where you call in and do just that. Ask Your Neighbor. Do you have a comment? Do you have a problem? Or do you have a question? Then call in and ask your neighbor. 865-457-1380 or toll free at 877-711-4005. And for those of you that might be listening or watching on the internet, you can email from our website, WYSHradio.com. Just click on the Contact Us button and email your questions. Now sit back and listen as listeners throughout East Tennessee and the entire world answer your questions on Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV 12 and AM 1380 WYSH.
Good morning, everybody. It is Monday morning. Today is the last day of September. Ask Your Neighbor. Stephanie Wells joins us. Stephanie graciously gave up her time slot on Tuesday so that Rex Lynch could come in, Court Clerk Rex Lynch could come in and talk a little bit about the trial that we just had here in Anderson County, the death penalty trial, which was interesting.
Yes.
But that was, thank you again very much.
No
for
problem.
That.
I watched it, some of it on TV and knew a little bit about what was going on in the background, not, nowhere near what Rex was talking about. But it was, horrible.
Yes.
Horrible circumstances, but it was interesting to kind of see what happened behind the scenes.
Yeah, the inner workings.
Yeah, what they all had to go through and to make sure that, because one little thing in a mistrial and you got to start all over again, and nobody wants that. So
it was interesting, but again, I completely dropped the ball. I scheduled you and then scheduled Rex. I did the exact same thing. I had to text Johanna Whitley at like 6 o'clock this morning because I had Johanna scheduled not today, but I had double scheduled her on tomorrow. With Dr. Ayers. Oh. So Johanna's coming Thursday. I've gotten bad if I don't. I hadn't flipped the page on the October calendar when I did that. But so thank you for being gracious and letting us do that and coming back, because I know we are busy right now.
Yes, we've got a lot of stuff coming up.
What we got going on?
Well, before we get to that,
all right,
I'm gonna talk money.
Oh, wow. Okay, you talk money.
Okay. So last week, I was at the governor's conference on tourism.
Yes.
We were in Chattanooga, and that's when they release, all the economic impact numbers and
Yes.
all that great information. And we get it a little bit earlier now than we used to, but we really talk a lot about it more in depth, at the governor's conference. And so a couple of things, and I know if you're not a numbers person, just hang with me for a few minutes. But a couple of things that I just found really interesting. First of all, tourists, people that visit our state, in direct spending, they spent $30 billion in 2023. So these are 2023 numbers, and I better put my glasses on so I get all of this. So, of course, just like everybody else across the nation and in the world, we took a dip with COVID. Mm-hmm. But we have recovered fully. So this is a 26% increase over 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So, we're still trending up.
Do they know why do they have anything to account that to?
Well, a lot of it is more money that we're spending. So the state of Tennessee applied for ARPA funds from the state, allowed them to do it just specifically for tourism. Gotcha. To help with the recovery of tourism in Tennessee. So not only did the state get funding, but we at the county level also got funding to do additional advertising from 2021 to 2026.
Gotcha.
So we've been spending those dollars. The state has been spending those dollars. So that's one of the reasons. But also, too, we got great outdoor spaces. And a lot of people discovered those great outdoor spaces during COVID.
Yes.
And bought toys to enjoy those great outdoor spaces. And so we see a lot of repeat visitation. And then just people we're a great destination. We're kind of right there, in the middle of
40 and 75 and everything.
All this coming together in eastern United States. So we're just a really good destination. So we've also, I think we're number 11 now in most visited. But the thing that we all need to remember is we are a sales tax state. Yeah. So we, as people that live in the state, do not pay an income tax. So we have one of the highest sales tax rates. But the good news is people that visit here, they're also sharing in that expense of the state. That what it takes to run our state. So yes, exactly. And then they go home.
Now, in the $30 billion that they spent, is that money that's what they spent, or that's the tax revenue they left?
That's what they spent. So the taxes they left when they went home, they left $3.15 billion.
Wow. So
that is into the state and back to the locals. Okay. Yeah. So as a person living in Tennessee, because of tourists, because of visitors to the state, you saved $1,161 of taxes. Oh, wow. So you would have to pay that additionally. And if you remember a few years ago, when we are, as Tennesseans, we are allowed to count our sales tax we pay to offset our federal income tax. We can count it as a deduction.
Yes.
So I counted how much sales tax do I spend.
Yes.
It's not as much as you think, honestly. And there's actually the guy, my brother-in-law does my taxes, and I sent him this information. He's like, yeah, we're going to take the standard deduction because it's higher. So I'm like, okay. So he's like, did all that work for nothing. But, and I'm not a big spender. So, but, it's really, we don't spend as much as you think. I mean, it's 10% of what you spend.
Sure.
So, there you go. It's amazing how much, but back to the numbers.
Yes.
So let's look at Anderson County.
Okay.
$190 million was spent in Anderson County. And what are they spending it on? Food and beverage, lodging, amusement and recreation, retail, and transportation.
Gotcha.
And a portion of transportation and a portion of retail and a portion of food and beverage, obviously, are built into that number. And these numbers come from multiple sources. The Department of Revenue, there's some independent sources that this comes from, but it's not just, it's multiple sources. And the state checks it against the Department of Revenue.
Sure.
So this report is not, a lot of people say, oh, well, Stephanie, those numbers are inflated or they're not real numbers. They're real numbers.
It's a culmination of a number of different sources and then put together by the state. Okay.
Yes. So that equates to Anderson County receiving $8 million in local taxes.
$8 million.
$8 million in local taxes. And
That's
I'll
great.
give you the sheet if you want to keep it when I leave.
Yes.
But I think you've asked me this number before. So how much does a visitor spend
Yes.
in Anderson County? $153 a day.
Wow.
Per person. So you got a family of 4, you're up over, $500,
Yeah.
$600.
Yeah, $600 a day.
Exactly. So our number of what Anderson Countyans saved is $613
$613 this year.
this year, or 2023.
Yes.
So which may not sound like a lot, but I guarantee you, if you ask any commissioner, if you raise property taxes by
Yes.
$613,
Yeah, it'd be a
you're
lot.
going to get a few phone calls.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
you're going to get a few phone calls. So, I always think about, okay, what does that really mean also for Anderson County? And you hear a lot of people say, oh, well, the state got $3 billion in sales tax. And for Anderson County, they got $11 million from sales tax, just from Anderson County. That went to the state.
Yes.
That's great. That goes to the state. What's that matter? Well, where does that money come back to?
Well, it
comes back to our county.
Sure.
So in multiple ways. So I did pull the schools budget because that's who gets a lot of our sales tax.
Okay.
So if you look at their budget, their budget is $78 million.
Yes.
$46 million came back from the state.
Of the $78 million it takes us to operate our schools, the state provided $46 million, of which $11 million we sent back to the state for our recreation and tourism.
Exactly. So that's also, they get $13 million from local option sales tax.
Yes, which is part.
Exactly. So now I know the money goes different places. It goes to the cities. It comes to the county. It's divided up in all different places.
Yes.
But if our county is getting and this is county schools, this is does not include City of Clinton and Oak Ridge City Schools. This is just Anderson County Schools.
Gotcha.
Got $13 million of local option sales tax. And through tourism, the county received $8 million of local auction sales tax.
So that money goes into the county to help, the schools and all the other stuff. So.
Exactly. So, the money that goes to the state that visitors spend, if they're spending it in Memphis, if they're spending it in Nashville, that money is going to the state and being divided up to the counties for their school systems, for other things. You think gas tax, when they buy gas at the gas pump, that money comes back to the counties to be used for paving roads, all of those things. So I know the numbers are somebody's going to call and say, well, the money really goes here, or goes here, it goes there, but let's just look at it at a high level.
Yeah.
The money that's coming back to Anderson County directly and indirectly from a visitor, that, again, you don't have to worry about educating their children. You don't have to worry about, getting the phone calls, the complaints, those kind of things.
Sure.
They're not typically the people that are in our jails,
sure,
for long term especially. So these things that these visitors, we talked a lot last week about the value of a visitor and the value they bring to our state, and they're not a burden. Exactly.
They're not a burden upon they're somewhat they're a temporary burden on infrastructure, but after that, after the traveling and all that, they're not a burden at all.
Exactly.
Because all of the things that we have to offer, we're going to have whether they're here or not,
exactly.
or at least try to. So that's
and
fantastic.
There's also things that we do in our communities to enhance the visitor experience that the resident gets to experience too. Improvements to parks, improvements, museums that we have to offer,
sure,
those kind of things, activities that we have, those things that are enhance the experience of living in Anderson County. So just like cut to the chase, $8 million right back into, does that go into our general fund? The local taxes returned, it is divided up among the cities, it is, and the county. Robbie gives a report every month about, how much Anderson County received in sales tax, how much each of the counties or the cities received in sales tax. So it is divided out, and then it is split into our schools.
Gotcha.
But our schools are the biggest benefactor of our sales tax and our property property taxes.
Okay.
How they get $16 million of our property taxes. And speaking of property taxes, the hotels in Anderson County pay about $650,000 a year in property taxes.
Wow.
So, and I think there's like 18 of them. So if you look at all of them, and then our marinas, we have 2. They're paying a combined $60,000 in property taxes.
Exactly.
So that is directly to Anderson County.
Yes.
All of our hotels are located within city limits, so they're paying county and city property taxes. So I'm just talking about county property taxes.
Exactly.
So, they're contributing, over $700,000. Just our lodging,
sure,
and property taxes.
So tourism, tourism has turned into big business for Anderson County.
Absolutely. And our commissioner of tourism at the state, his favorite saying is tourism is real money. His background is not tourism. He came from kind of the manufacturing side, milk actually, is what his family was in, and when he came to the Department of Tourism with Governor Lee, he was like, he learned about the industry. He's like, okay, these are great numbers. These are wonderful, but are they real? Are they true? Yeah. And he went to the Department of Revenue and got the information. He's like, wow, it's the same. It's the same.
Yeah.
And so he's like, and it's not just multiplied. It's not, it's direct spending. It's real money. It's real money that's being invested in our state. And tourism is the second largest contributor to our state's economy.
I like to say free money. It's not really free money because we have to put a lot into it, and it does stress our public safety.
Exactly.
And, we have to step up when that happens a little bit.
Right. And that's an interesting fact, too, because, we all assume a lot of things,
sure.
and I understand that. But I did reach out to our cities who provide for our hotels the response. They provide the police protection and fire protection. Our county provides the EMS. And I reached out to them, and over 3 years, our hotels in the city of Clinton and the city of Oak Ridge received less than 1% of the response of our police.
So it's not stressing at least at this point. It's not
they do have to respond.
Sure.
Granted, if a hotel caught on fire, they're going to have to respond.
Yeah.
If something happens at a marina, the sheriff's department is going to have to respond. So that does happen.
Yes.
If there's an accident involving a tourist, I know there was an accident that involved a tourist. But even with our EMS, if you're transported to the hospital, there's a bill associated with that.
Yes.
Your car insurance is going to pay, or those kind of things too. So there is some income that offsets that also. But it's not without having some impact on our economy. But I think that the benefit well outweighs the investment that we have to make.
And it's grown. Substantially, 10 times since you started in this job?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we have a 5% growth this year.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Over 2022. So 2023 increased 5% over 2022. So, and every year I've only seen a decline twice, I believe. It's 2008 was the recession, and then COVID. We saw a decrease.
But we're still way above our pre-COVID numbers, aren't we? Yeah,
absolutely.
We've recovered and then back on track.
Absolutely.
So what drives the tourism here? Is it our outdoor stuff? Is it word of mouth? Is it advertising? Is it just the God-given beauty that we have? What drives people down here?
Yes, and yes.
All of the above.
Yes. So our biggest attractions that probably attract the most people are Windrock and Norris Lake. And if you think about why they stay here, those are two of the biggest ones. People will come for a week. They will come for 3 or 4 days, stay at Windrock. We also have a lot of people that come for our history. We have great museums. They're an experience in and of themselves.
Yes.
We say that our brand is adventure.
Yeah.
And even our history is an adventure, because you think about the Museum of Appalachia, just going through that facility and what you can see. And last week we were out in Oak Ridge going to all the museums out there, and that history, it's a it's a bigger story than just we built a bomb.
Yeah. Oh,
you know,
yeah, absolutely.
it's 70,000 people.
Yeah, in Oak Ridge
giving up their lives where they're from, coming to this area because there was only about 3,000 people in that area before,
and a lot of people giving up their land.
And people giving up their land. Not only they gave it up for TVA, now they're giving it up for Oak Ridge, and they're in this area. All new, and they're young. I mean, the majority of them are young.
Mm-hmm.
They're in their early 20s, you know, they've come to this area, and they are doing something. They have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
Not a clue. Most of them didn't even know they were building components of a bomb until the bomb was dropped.
Yep.
And so, can you imagine? I mean, I could imagine that at my age.
Absolutely
like they said,
not.
okay, Stephanie, you're going to leave everything. You're going to have to go to this area. You're going to have to work, and we're not even going to tell you what you're doing.
You're going to make this widget. What's it for? It's for something, but we can't tell you.
You're going to. We're building everything. Nothing is there. We're going to build it all as we get there, and you're going to be traipsing around in mud, and you're going to be, you know, rationed your food and all of these other things. And like, I mean, I don't know many people today that would be like, sure, sign me up.
That's why they call it the greatest generation.
Exactly. I will sacrifice. And that's what they did. And they gladly did it.
Yes.
You know, that's just the world they lived in. So but that history and what always Coal Miners Museum.
Yes.
You know, the history there. It's a very small building, but it's got a big story, and that's what all of our museums are. They are big stories.
Yes.
You know, the fact that same thing. They had a lot of itinerant miners in that area that came and worked there, and when the mine collapsed, they had no idea who these people were.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got somebody living up in West Virginia that their son left, and you never heard from him again.
He came here and
died in a
mine
mine disaster.
Yeah.
And so there's just so many big stories. There's a cemetery up there that's just got headstones, not even headstones, they're just rocks.
Markers.
For the itinerant miners because they did not know who they were.
Yeah, see, there's so much history.
Mm-hmm.
So much history in our museums around here. And again, I say it all the time, we just take it, we don't think about it because we're not from here, but folks here, you could spend a day and do a daycation without going 20 miles.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Well, the money is great. That is fantastic.
Yeah.
And the generation of that money, you've got a bunch of stuff happening to bring people down here this month, don't you?
Absolutely.
Next month.
Well, I'm going to still talk a little bit about money for just a second.
No, I'm good.
So you're talking
it's all good news. I like it.
You talk about what it takes. So in the last 5 years, Anderson County, through tourism funds, through general funds, and through grants, have invested over $700,000 in Anderson County Park.
Oh, wow.
So improvements that we have made out there. So we've added 20 new campsites. We converted kind of a picnic area to campsites that were made for bigger equipment. So larger trailers, motorhomes, those kind of things, water, electric, all of that good stuff. They've added a playground out there. They converted their management house to a rental house.
Okay.
So that's available for rent. Many people may not think this is a big thing, but we implemented a reservation system. So before it was you ran out there and you reserved your spot with a tent or something on the table. I remember years ago when we used to go to Lewiston, we would just go put a picnic table, a tablecloth on the picnic table, and that reserved our spot for the upcoming weekend. So, you know, you'd have to run out there and get your spot reserved. And if you were visiting this area, you weren't doing that.
Yeah.
You know,
you didn't know to do that.
Exactly. And a lot of people would show up on Friday and there wouldn't be anywhere to camp. So they just started going somewhere else that had reservation systems. And so we installed that over 5 years ago before COVID, and it has been phenomenal. And also now our park management, which, I mean, there's only 4 employees for our park system, 4 full-time employees. They would have to go around to each site every night and collect money and check people in and all of those things and make sure, you know, if you had more than people than you were allowed to have, they'd have to run people off, you know, those kind of things. They don't have to do that anymore. It's all done through the reservation system. It's done ahead of time. They know on a Friday night how many people are going to be showing up at that park.
And they can prepare for it.
Exactly.
That's
so
great.
That is, that's, again, it's not something you're going to go out there and see, but it has probably been one of the biggest improvements we've made that has helped the park.
Good.
And our visitation has gone up because now, I mean,
we can more easily manage
Clinton,
it.
You can make your reservations for the whole year, and you can go out there and know that you're going to have a spot. You're not going to have to worry about running out there on a weekend, on a Wednesday.
Good.
So they also, again, they have 7 other parks. So we're just talking about Anderson County Park. They have made some improvements to some of the other parks, but we also doubled the size of the ramp.
Oh, cool.
At the park. So that also helps with fishing tournaments. It just helps with traffic in that area. And our latest thing that we've done is we've paved the parking lot.
Gotcha.
And again, a lot of people maybe think, okay, you paved a parking lot. But it's going to save us money in the long run because of gravel and wash out and all those things. And then when we would have tournaments, people would park all over the place, and having it striped and everything is really nice.
Much more efficient.
Really nice. So I didn't know I would be so excited about a paved parking lot. But it makes me really happy.
Well, good.
So drove out there and looked at it. It looks great. But it's other things, electrical lines, water lines, all of those things, they were able to insulate one of the bathrooms so that it could stay open year round to allow longer camping in the seasons and those kind of things. So
that's good.
A lot of improvements. The park staff, like I said, there's 4 of them, and they work very hard. I mean, they're managing not only Anderson County Park's a lot to manage,
sure,
but then you think about the other 6 parks that they have across the county too.
Yeah,
so,
with 4 employees to manage it.
4 employees.
That's a little difficult.
So they're doing a great job.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, now we can talk about things coming up.
Well, I was going to ask you,
sure.
the money that we generate at the park and all of that, all of that stays right here 100%, doesn't it?
Yes.
And the money that we use to do the improvements, we generated ourselves from tourism revenue, right?
And we were able to get grants.
Yes. So.
The state has a tourism enhancement grant, and it has to be geared towards bringing new people to the area, so doing something new. So we added 20 new campsites. We paved the parking lot to enhance our, offering for tournaments.
Yes.
We added a ramp to be able to get more people in the water at one time. So
all of these improvements were made based on the revenue that we were able to generate. So we take that and reinvest it to generate more and do it more efficiently.
Absolutely.
But you didn't have to go dip into our general fund to do anything like that.
On the ramp, TBA and TWRA provided that match.
Oh, that's great.
And on the campground, the general funds were used to match it. It's 50-50 grant. General funds were used to match it. But when you stay at the park and you pay, that goes to the general fund.
Okay.
So
it's money in the general fund.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Very good.
So we estimated that within 5 years we would make back the money that we invested.
Okay.
In that improvement.
So what do we have coming up? And I know there is a lot because the bulletin board was like 12 minutes long.
Yes.
I know there's a lot going on.
So this weekend is the Clinch River Antique Festival.
Yes.
That will be Friday night and Saturday. It starts about noon on Friday, and then Saturday it starts, I'm going to say 9 o'clock. Don't kill me, Catherine, if I got that wrong. You can go look at our website for the specific times. And we do have it rotating on the sign out front of our office. So if you're in the Clinton area, you'll see that also. But in the spring, I don't know if they did this last fall or not. I can't remember. But they had crafters on Main Street.
Okay.
So on Saturday, they closed down, Friday night they closed down Market Street. Saturday they closed down Main Street and have vendors in that area of crafters. So when I say crafters, these crafters have been jured and they've been evaluated and they have some high quality crafts available for sale. So be sure to check them out also.
Okay.
And I think that they've closed all the way down to the courthouse.
I think they do now.
That it's big.
Yeah.
It's a lot bigger. The footprint is a lot bigger than it has been, but there is so much more to see.
Good.
So
if
you're not, if antiques aren't your thing, they should be. But if they're not, then come check out the crafts, come check out the live music. They're going to have 2 different stages on Saturday, so there's going to be a lot to do.
Good.
So Little Ponderosa is also having their fall festival that day from 10 to 5. So you can do both.
Yes.
But they will have inflatables. They're going to do a chili cook-off. They'll also have vendors, games, pony rides, food, music, face painting, all that kind of good stuff.
Cool.
So. And then the Hall Ridge is having it's actually the Clinch River Trail Alliance at Hall Ridge is having their Hill of Truth.
Okay.
So that is a 2-day event, mountain biking, running. I think they open it up for you to stay out there overnight. It's not typically an overnight destination, but they do have, for this event, you would be able to. So that's on our website. Also, check that out. October, that's all this weekend. All 3 of those are this weekend.
Wow. Okay.
The Secret City Head Race is October the 12th and 13th at Melton Hill Lake, and that is a rowing event.
Okay.
So they have different classes, but if you're not a rower, just go by and watch. Spectators are welcome, so it's really cool just to go by and watch.
And that's October
the 12th and the 13th.
All right. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then the fall color cruises, if you want to get out on the lake and see the fall colors, they're at North Dam State Park, October the 15th through the 29th. So there's a small fee, and you can register on their website.
Okay. And
just
that's on
Google North Dam State Park, and you'll have an option to look at their events. But again, it's also on our website, adventureanderson.com, that you can check that out. And we link all of those websites.
Got it.
And a big event coming up is the Windrock Park Jamboree, October the 17th through the 19th.
Are they having an artist?
They are not. They do not have a concert with this event. Okay. Well, I'll take that back. They do have a live music with Ethan Vincil, Vincil. I don't know if I'm saying that right. That they'll have live music, but it's not the big concert they do in the spring.
Is that where they're doing it up on the porch, up on? Is that up on?
They will do that down in the holler.
Okay.
They call it. Yeah. And they have guided rides. So if you're not very familiar with Windrock and you want to go join a group and ride, they'll have guided rides. They're doing a family movie on Friday night.
Okay.
And they do the Windrock Challenge, which is a competition event.
Okay.
So a haunted trail ride and a costume contest. So not only do you get to dress up, you can also
all this
dress
on the
up
17th.
Your ATV, October 17th through 19th.
Got it.
So I believe the haunted trail rides are on Saturday, and they do have on their website and Facebook, they have a list of times and schedules, all that good stuff.
And that's linked with yours.
Yes.
That's linked with ours.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And if you don't have a side-by-side, you can enter a chance to win one.
Oh, wow. They're giving one away?
They're giving one away.
Shut the front door.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
That's cool.
Yes. So that same weekend is the October Sky Festival in Oliver Springs.
Okay.
And that's where the movie October Sky was filmed. So that's where they have the name for the festival. And that's at Arrowhead Park. And again, vendors, kids stuff, car show, all of those good stuff. They'll have the museum open and they'll have the depot open.
Okay.
So you can tour both of those.
Very cool. A lot.
So, yes.
I'm
not done yet.
I'm going to say we're just to the 19th.
We're just to the 19th. Also on the 19th. And there's only so many weekends in October, so we all have to cram, we have multiple things going on each weekend. But this is something, visitors can take part in, but this is a really good fundraiser for locals, is the Clinton 5K.
Yes.
So the proceeds raised go to Anderson County and Clinton City Schools. Mm-hmm. And that's, for more information on that, you can go to clinton5k.com.
Okay.
So the number 5K.
I think the first year we did that was 08 or 09. It was one of the two. I remember it.
Yeah, I don't have in my notes how long, but I remember when I was looking it up.
I participated in the first one. I remember it. I walked. I didn't run.
Well, you can walk, you can run, you can stay home.
Yeah.
They have a fee. You can just pay. If you want to just contribute, you can pay to stay home.
Yes.
So that's nice.
And that is Saturday. What date would that be? It'd be Saturday
October the 19th.
19th, yes. Saturday the 19th.
Mm-hmm. Great local fundraiser.
Yes.
And there's a lot of people that participate in it.
Oh, yeah. So. Yeah, it's grown over the years. Mm-hmm. They those 5Ks have gotten very sophisticated. You wear a little vest that tells where you're at and when you're going and what your time is and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. And in the past we've talked about Windrock has a lot of events catered towards special vehicles. Yeah. So their Cruiser on the Rocks is coming up. And this is Land Cruiser event. So if you have a Land Cruiser, you want to check that out. And then Crazy Like Off-Road Fall Foliage Guided Rides. So another guide to ride opportunity. It's a Jeep event. It's October the 26th and 27th.
Okay.
Also at Windrock.
Wow. Okay.
So again, if you have a Jeep, looking for people to ride with, and you're not familiar with Windrock, you want to check this out. You want to check that one out.
Guided Jeep rides for fall colors. That'd be cool.
And then Museum of Appalachia, they don't do their fall homecoming anymore, but they do their fall heritage days.
Yes.
And they are all sold out except October the 31st. And it may be sold out as I talk.
Okay.
But as of Friday, it was not sold out. And it's kind of a smaller scale homecoming. There is live music. There's a lot of demonstrators showing, basket weaving, spinning, all those good things, chair caning, blacksmithing, all that good stuff.
Okay.
So
when you say sold out, are you talking about the campground? You're talking about
no, they sell a limited number of tickets.
Got it.
Because they want everybody to have a great experience.
Yes.
So if you want to go to this October the 31st, you might want to get your ticket today.
Okay. Good deal.
And they have a lot of school groups that come, those kind of things, but it is great for all ages. It really, truly is.
Yes.
So, and then as we get into November, I'll just kind of throw these out here. Christmas open house, November the 1st through the 2nd. Secret City Half Marathon is November the 23rd. And that is a fundraiser for Explore Oak Ridge. And they usually pick another nonprofit to partner with for that event also. So those are two good. That's a really good fundraiser also.
We stay pretty busy through November, too.
We do.
Yeah, right up until Christmas. Right up to Christmas craze. It kind of slows down then, but after that.
And last year we had beautiful weather. It's our best November ever, and since I've been doing this. So all of our hotels had really good occupancy rates. So we're kind of pushing out those shoulder seasons.
Does, when we have weather like we had come through on the coast, and then the damage, normally it doesn't do the damage it did to 40 and 40 and 26 and such, but does that weather push people up from that maybe had planned to go to Tampa? Do we catch some of that when that happens?
Absolutely. Everybody starts, when we operate the Welcome Center, usually not only do we get people that come here that are evacuated from those places, then we get people that had to change their vacation plans also.
On the way down and realize if I'm driving into a hurricane, let's see what we can find to do here.
Yes. Fortunate for us, but unfortunate for other people, bad weather does benefit us. We've had a couple of snowstorms that people had to stay at the hotels for multiple days. Same thing with these kind of things, weather pushing people up to us or over to us. I can remember when we had the Welcome Center during Hurricane Katrina.
Yes.
We had people come in and say, "I'm not going back. Yeah. I don't have, I don't have anything left. I'm going to move here."
Yeah.
So it does push people in from the coast to us.
I thought so. I was talking about earlier. I don't remember what year it was. That I was on my way to the beach and the hurricane hit, and they said, "Ron, you can't get here." Yeah. I mean, they literally turned the interstate to where it's just an outbound, and I ended up in Gatlinburg Pigeon Forge, spending my fall break or whatever it was. So I thought that was probably something. And then the more that folks know about us, the more, if once they stay once, maybe they'll come back.
Absolutely.
The whole idea,
Absolutely.
It's a lot going on. There's a whole lot to pay attention to. There's a whole lot for folks to get out and do if you guys don't have anything to do.
Absolutely. And I always say, too, we're very fortunate in Anderson County. We have a diverse economy.
Yes.
We have great manufacturing. We have great retail, great commerce, service businesses, great tourism. It's a good, healthy mix.
Yeah, we do, don't we?
So we're not, we don't have all of our eggs in any one basket. We have a really good, healthy mix for our economy.
I know the folks
I think that's why we've been so successful.
I know the folks like in Pigeon Forge and Sevierville, they would kill for some of our manufacturing.
Oh, absolutely.
They are very interested in that, and because they live and die by tourism. Yes, and so whereas we've got everything from our government jobs at the plants to our we've got some really high tech automobile manufacturing jobs with SL and Ison and a few of the others. We do have a very diverse economy, and that serves us well through a crunch time.
Exactly.
When one thing hurts, you've got other areas that can
step up, and same thing with COVID. A lot of places, a lot of manufacturing facilities were shut down for a couple of weeks. People still visited. People came here to enjoy our outdoor areas. And we were fortunate that they started the sales tax on items that you order.
Yes.
So like Amazon.
Yeah, that is really
that really helped us. That again, a sales tax state, that those sales tax dollars are coming back. Because used to, if you remember years ago, you ordered something from Amazon, it was tax free.
Yeah, that just happened 4 years ago. It's not been that long. Maybe longer.
It was before COVID.
Okay.
But that's we saw a big, huge boost. And again, those tax dollars are coming back to our state. So.
And do you find that, let me ask you this, what's the future of our tourism? Where are we going with it in the state? Because, we can just maintain what we have, but it seems like you have to be growing and changing, like things you're doing to the park and stuff like that. What's on the horizon?
Well, I think again, it's just that diversity that we have across the state too. I mean, you think about would you travel to Nashville?
Sure.
You like the downtown atmosphere. Maybe you're going for a game. You're going for entertainment. Those kind of things. Okay, why would you come to Knoxville?
Sure.
Same thing. UT football game, downtown entertainment. They've got also with the urban wilderness. Those kind of things, and then that filters on out to why would you come to Anderson County?
Yes,
you like to go ATVing, you like to go boating, and I think we've talked about this before too. I always assumed, because that's what my family is like. Oh, you've got an ATV, you've got a boat, you enjoy doing both. Went to the boat shows, start talking to people, and they're like, let's talk about you're coming to go ATVing or you're coming to go boating. Would you like to go ATVing? Oh, no, I just boat.
Yeah, so
no, I don't want to do all that.
There's some people that there's people
that
one or the other.
They are one or the other. They are not both. You've got people that come that you're coming to Windrock to ATV. You want to go check out Norris Lake? Nope, I'm coming. I'm riding my side by side. So there are some of us that like it all, but there is a lot of people that they have their hobby. That is what they're going to do, and you could not convince them to go to downtown Nashville for nothing. They want to go ATVing. They want to be out. They want to hike. They want to mountain bike.
Sure.
You've got people that, horseback riders. You've got people that love their activity, their hobby, and that is what they're doing. And other than coastal water, we've got it all.
When you put in, let's say that you put in is the wrong word, but let's say you come in, you're at the Rocky Top exit, you park, you get your ATV. You can go, if you decide to go northeast, you can go up into Royal Blue right from there.
There is a little section that you can go over. You can come out at the North Wildlife Management area.
Yeah.
And you can go over to Brushy Mountain.
Yes, you can go all the way back and forth. So do we know how many thousands of miles of trails that we have up there between all of it?
I don't.
Because I know Windrock says they've got.
I think it's over 1,000.
Yeah,
I think it is. I think I did add it up at one time because Windrock has about 350. I think it's over 1,000. It's 250,000 acres, and then over 1,000 miles of trails.
Now Windrock is 250,000 acres, right?
No, Windrock is about 74,000.
So we've got 250,000 acres of available trails and areas for folks to ride on. That's a big area.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty cool.
And the same thing, like you said, you could park your vehicle at the Econo Lodge in Rocky Top, and you can drive
you're side by side, yeah.
And you can drive all the way over to Oliver Springs. Now you can drive in downtown Oliver Springs.
I saw in La Follette they've got where you can drive in downtown La Follette some of the areas.
In some of the areas.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I was up there the other day, and it said ATV or whatever trail through here.
Right. Well, I think it's been close to 8 years since we've allowed ATVs on the road in Rocky Top, and just to see what has snowballed from that. You have a lot of short-term rentals up there now. You have people that are converting residents into short-term rentals, improving the home and turning it into a short-term rental, and the hotels.
Yeah. That was going to be my next question. For years and fooling with retail and stuff, you'd have the chicken and the egg syndrome where they would say, we need rooftops in order to bring this. And then some people would say, well, we need people in order to bring rooftops. So it appears to me or seems to me that we're at a point that we need more accommodations. Although it sounds like people are getting accommodated. The VRBOs and Airbnbs have kind of stepped up and filled a need. But is there anything on the horizon that we're looking at any resorts? We're looking at any larger hotels? Anything that you know of?
We hear that hotels are looking at the interstate still. Yes. That we have not reached capacity.
I've had a couple of conversations with people that are involved with folks that might be interested in something up around Rocky Top. It's sooner or later, with 2 exits off an interstate. Sooner or later, something's gonna give up there.
Yep.
And somebody will put something up there. But it just we grow every year.
Yes.
And if you're going by the numbers, just like the numbers you saw, there's a lot of money coming in here, and a lot more can come.
And I mean, the thing is, progress is not really as fast as you think it is.
Never.
I mean, it's just not. I've been in this position for over 20 years and have seen it grow. And I can sit here and say it's coming.
Yeah.
It is coming. I mean, when I was in high school, I went to Anderson County High School. You had Hardee's and Get and Go. I can remember when the Hardee's was built. I hate to age myself, but
I remember when the Get and Go was built.
You had a Hardee's and Get and Go. I mean, our Friday night eat out, because we lived up near GT Tire. Our Friday night eat out was Get and Go, and I mean, it's still some of my favorite food.
Absolutely,
can't beat a Get and Go hot dog or a Big Mama burger. So I love their wraps too. So I don't need to sell them over here. But anywho, that was our Friday night. That was our treat. So we were so excited, and we're so excited when they finally built a pizza place, but we'd have to drive to the interstate to meet them as they delivered our pizzas.
I remember. It's crazy.
To see how that interstate exchange has
I remember
progressed.
when Golden Girls was across the street.
Yes, I do too.
You remember?
I do too.
And when
and it was another name. What was the other name? Before it was Golden Girls.
I don't remember.
I swear, I think I remember it was another name.
I just remember Golden Girls. I remember when Glen Alpine School was right up there by it before they tore all that down. It's crazy. Let me ask you this: Aspire, the park that's opening.
Yes.
Do you have a way, or have you kind of sussed out a way that you can see what that economic impact could be? It's probably going to be through the city of Clinton, I think. But is there a way we're looking?
I mean, you're going to see, the thing is, money that comes into the city of Clinton also comes into Anderson County.
Sure.
So, I mean, you're going to see it across the county. They're going to stay at the interstate. They may stay in Oak Ridge. You're going to probably see some short-term rentals pop up to accommodate people that are coming here to ride there. So I know probably that they have ran their numbers and can project, and I know that they have a lot of plans for events and those kind of things. So I think you can project what it's going to do, but I think you're going to be able to tell pretty quickly what it impacts once it gets open. Because one thing that we do have access to now that we did not have before is some of that data through your cell phone, being able to track that data. So we'll be able to see what their visitation is, be able to see out from that what the visitation is, and see what our hotels are very gracious to give us occupancy numbers. So we'll be able to see, what occupancy has increased, those kind of things. So
I saw Joe's.
It won't take very long to see what the impact is.
I saw the menu the other day online. We get to go, invited to their soft opening tomorrow. One of them going tomorrow to get to see it. I'm excited about it. I'm getting to, we got to see it for whatever the chamber event that I was at. I got to see some of it then, but I'm excited to get to see.
Well, I was over there a couple of weeks ago, and it is phenomenal. Yeah. I mean, as far as my husband and son and I kayak, and that's what I'm most excited about. So I don't want to reveal anything.
Well, I know they've got the docks, the walkout docks and everything.
I have not seen anything that nice anywhere that we go and launch.
Really?
So, I mean, we've kayaked in multiple places across the state parks, public. I've never seen anything that nice.
I think folks don't realize this is going to be a public use park.
Exactly.
It's a combination. No, it's a gift to the area from Joe Hollingsworth, and it's I'm just anxious to see all of it. I've got.
And they said how many employees they're going to have, and I don't remember the number, but that's the other thing too is it's additional employees, it's jobs for this area, and it's not just you think right off the bat. Okay, you walk through the restaurant and you see people serving, and you see bartenders, and you see people cooking, but there's landscape. There's I mean they're managing those 13 miles of trails up there. And that takes a lot of people to manage that. Yeah. So I think they have a full-time landscaper and all those kind of things to manage the property too.
So that if they just meet part of their expectations, it's going to add a substantial amount of money and visitors to our area.
And again, I mean that's private investment in our county. You see a lot of public investment, and everybody's like, oh, the county's got money, the cities have money. They don't.
No, not to do something like that.
I mean, we're not, just running over with money. So we're blessed to have that private investment because it's not something that the city or county could have done.
No, you're not. I don't think you'll see a municipality anywhere in the state that's going to be able to take $25-35 million out just to build something and then to sustain it. It's going to take millions of dollars a year to operate.
Exactly. And then that's a burden on the taxpayer.
Yeah.
That this is not a burden on the taxpayer. Like you said, it's truly a gift. So, and the same thing, I mean, you look at Windrock and the employees they have, Museum of Appalachia, what it takes to manage their property. I mean, these are all private investments that's invested
that create
in our
public
community,
tax money
that benefits the residents of Anderson County.
This time of year, we don't. Me and you never have a lack of anything to talk about.
No.
We can talk, but this time of year there is a lot going on, a lot of things to get out and enjoy. It's one of the most beautiful times of the year to be in East Tennessee. The weather is most of the time very, very comfortable. The leaves. I was sitting. Got to go to Seymour the other day. Jacob was doing equine therapy.
Okay.
That is the coolest thing in the world, I'm telling you. But I was sitting and waiting on him, and I had the windows down, and a leaf just blew into the car, and it was the coolest color of orange and brown. I took a moment, and I just realized, man, there's so much beauty, in East Tennessee. I mean, you get that up in New England and some of the places too, but still the mountains and the changing fall colors and the mild temperatures make for a great place to visit. So.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that we're promoting heavily right now is our scenic drives. Okay. So a lot of people come to this area just to drive around, and we want them to stay here in Anderson County.
So where are our scenic drives?
So the Devil's Triangle is a huge one. So it's 116. You get off at Rocky Top exit, get onto 116 next to the ShopRite, take it all the way over to Brushy Mountain, and it'll probably take you a couple hours. But if you go to our website, you will see under things to do, you will see scenic drives. We've got a map of places that you can stop, things you can do along the way. If you haven't seen Militia Hill off of 116, you need to stop and do that. The church up there on the hill, that's part of our coal mining history. You can stop and do that. There's different places you can stop along that trail. It brings you into Brushy Mountain, brings you back down in through Wartburg. Even if you go up and see the new prison, what took the place of Brushy Mountain, in the Wartburg area. I mean, it's fascinating to see that facility and just see how huge it is and massive it is. You talk about economic development. When Brushy Mountain closed, that community petitioned the state to get the next facility there because Brushy Mountain was their number one employer.
Oh, wow.
So they wanted, you're going to take this from us, we've got to have something here. And so to see that facility and know that that's the number one employer of Morgan County. And the people that, would have lost jobs.
Yeah, would have lost their livelihood.
Yes, exactly. So,
what about Brushy Mountain? Do you guys they have a lot going on.
They do have a lot going on.
Mostly their tours, and then during the summer, we get to do their summer concert series last, I don't know how many years, but are they doing anything up there now besides the touring of the facilities?
You've got the brewery there and the restaurant and touring the facility. And they have different events throughout the years. So, again, if that's something you haven't done, you need to drive over
I've not went through I've been up there. I can't tell you how many. I bet we've done a dozen concerts. I bet I've sponsored a dozen concerts up there. Merle has. and I've never taken the tour.
Oh, you've got to. Usually, your guide will be either a guard, or one time we went and it was a former inmate.
Yeah, I met a former inmate up there at the concert. And he was telling me a lot of the stuff, and I think his name was Pete, but he said, if you just come back, ask for me, and he said, I'll take you and your kids, your wife and your kids. I'll take you on the.
And talking about
tour.
A big story. I mean, there's,
man.
Just when James Earl Ray.
Yeah, escaped from up there.
When he escaped from up there, different things that the firsthand stories that they'll tell you.
Yeah.
And that's a thing that most people can't imagine. And if you look at the facility, there was no air. It was all open. And you're standing here looking at, I think, 4 floors of cells and all open. And just, I can't imagine living like that, being sentenced to 5 years, 10 years, life. And it's all metal, concrete. There's no comfort at all being offered. I'm sure
else it's a good deterrent, right?
Yeah, exactly. Take your children.
Take your kids and let them see. Keep misbehaving.
Yes, yeah. And then the maximum facility, it was a maximum facility life. Where some of the lifers stayed, and that's you can't tour it. It's kind of up on the hill, but those inmates are alone 24 hours a day. I mean, they never come in contact with another person. They get to go outside for 1 hour a day.
So their life is in seclusion.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was interesting because we toured it before they closed it because the county up there, Morgan County, invited us to come up and tourism professionals in the region and talk about what could we do with this as a tourist destination. And so we toured the facility and we went into the maximum security part, and they were taking pieces of like a pencil and string that they had got from their bedding. They had pulled apart from their bedding, tied it around a pencil. They would take a note, write something on there, and slide it out their door to the next cell for that person to catch it, because it would slide under their cell doors for that person to catch it and then write them something back. That's how they communicated with each other.
Wow.
So, I mean, I guess you always have that ingrained need to communicate with other people.
I guess
and that's how they were doing it, how they would talk to each other. So
interesting.
Be interesting to see what some of those notes said.
Oh, yeah.
You know? What are you doing today?
I want out.
Yeah. What are you doing today? Well, I'm sitting here. What are you doing today?
I'm sitting here too. What are you gonna do tomorrow?
Yeah.
Same thing. Yeah. It's always I always enjoy talking about the things, and I really do feel bad that I don't get out and do more of these things. I really would like to see them and take my kids to see them. You know.
One of the other trails that we have, we call it the Southern Settlement Trail.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
It goes up to Cumberland Gap, where everybody came through to settle the South and eventually go out west. So the stories, there's a national park up there, start there, and then you can go up to the top and see the gap, see where all the 3 states meet, those kind of things. So that's just a very interesting story. But again, we have a map. We have a map and all the attractions mapped out for you to take that route. I think you go, and you're not on the interstate on any part of it, but you go up through Rocky Top, up through Caryville, circle back, down through, go to Cumberland Gap, takes you by LMU, Lincoln Memorial. If you've not gone to that museum, the Abraham Lincoln's Museum up there, it's really interesting. And then circle back through, and it always will bring you back to Anderson County.
That's always good. And all that is on adventureanderson.com, right?
Yes. And also check out our Facebook page. Well, a lot of those, the 2 trails that I just talked about, Devil's Triangle and Southern Settlement Trail, are listed on there. We have a White Lightning Trail that the state developed, and that will take you through.
That's a moonshiner's trail, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes, talk about moonshine and talk about alcohol and during Prohibition and those kind of things. So it's really interesting. A lot of it features a electoral area too. So
cool.
So a lot of that will, like, again, it'll take you out of Anderson County, bring you right back to Anderson County, and you can spend a really good day, if not more, doing that. And one of our favorite places is, I think we talked about this before too, is the name just slipped my mind. The World War I. Alvin York.
The Alvin York Museum. Yes,
absolutely. And his home place. That is really interesting too.
That's down Where's that near, though?
That is over towards, it's kind of up along the
Not
Tennessee,
Jamestown.
Kentucky line.
Is it Jamestown?
No, it's not Jamestown. Maybe it is Jamestown.
I thought it.
Just Google it. Google it. You'll find it.
It's cool. I've not been there, but I've got a lot of friends that have.
One of the pictures that we posted were of the elk. If you've never seen them, and
I've never seen them in real life. My parents have, but I've not been up to see them yet. I've not seen them. I've been up there. I didn't see them when I was up there, though.
So my husband deer hunts, and we talk about how much the deer move around, but it's interesting that elk, they really like to stay in the same area. So if you go up to in Campbell County, I think it's Knob is in there somehow. Elk Tower. If you Google Elk Tower in Campbell County, you're going to find it. But we've gone up there several times and always seen elk.
That's cool.
You will always see them up there, but they are.
I saw a picture of one at
massive.
I think it was down here in Dutch Valley. It's not been too long ago. He was huge. That thing, I've never seen anything. I mean, it's huge. I didn't realize how big that they got, but they're like horses plus.
Oh yeah. Several years ago, when they were looking at abandoning the rail line up in the Briceville area, we were actually in a truck on the rail.
Yeah.
If you've never done that, that's pretty interesting too. But I don't think they opened that up for visitors. But anywho, we were driving up through there, and the guy driving the truck says, "We're going to come around this bend, and there's going to be 2 elk, a male and a female, right in this field." We're like, wow. Did you stage them? I mean, what did you do? But sure enough, we come around the bend. Right there they stood. He said they like to stay in the same territory. They're very territorial. They like to stay in the same area.
Really?
So, yeah. So it's very interesting.
So folks can...
bear and deer and stuff, I mean, they can move around hundreds of miles.
Odds of seeing them are pretty good if people want to get up there and find them.
Exactly, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Got a lot to offer, got a lot going on, and perfect time of year to get out and do it.
Absolutely.
Anything else?
I think that's all I've got.
That's a lot.
So that's a lot.
There's a lot of good news. I mean, the tourism, like I said, it's not free money by any stretch, but it is certainly real money.
Some of the easiest money that you'll ever get.
Absolutely. Very good.
For sure. So.
All right. Well, Stephanie, thank you.
Thank you.
And I've got
Thank
you
you
down.
for having me.
I've already got you written on October. I turned to the page.
I appreciate it.
I got it written down there, so I won't double book this
Wonderful.
time.
Sounds
Thank you,
great.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Have a fantastic day.
You
Thanks
too.
for coming
Appreciate
in.
it.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap things up.
Hi, this is Jim Miller with WYSH Local Information News. Remember, if you see news happen, email me, jim@wysHradio.com, or message us on the WYSH Facebook page. Each day, we bring you the latest in local news. David Aldrich, Captain Accurate, has your weather forecast, and Pete Michaels is in the sky with the traffic. So we've got you covered, and if you see news happen, let us know. Your source for local information news since 1960, WYSH.
Fast, tasty, mouth-watering pizza is the best way to describe our pizza at Pizza Express, voted the best pizza in Anderson County. Pizza Express also offers wings, salads, sandwiches, calzones, tromboles, and more. Listen up, WYSH and WQLA listeners. Take advantage of the carry-out special. Extra large, one-topping pizza, only $10.99. Call 463-0011. Pizza Express, 827 Clinch Avenue in Clinton, 463-0011. Let us derail your hunger.
H&H Body Shop is a family-owned and operated body shop. Here's Darla, co-owner of H&H Body Shop, on how she ended up in the family business.
Well, I was born into it, but I did choose it. I helped my dad at night on his paperwork when I was a kid. Then I started during high school coming up here. Then after I graduated on state, I ended up here full time. Daddy got ready to retire, and he wanted me and Barry to do it together, so me and Barry became partners in the early 90s, and we've stuck together ever since.
What do you think sets H&H Body Shop apart from all the others?
We try to fix your car like it was our own. A lot of times other body shops just don't care like that. We're family business, and we act like a family business.
H&H Body Shop on North Main Street in Clinton. Call 865-457-9734. H&H Body Shop. There since 1960. There when you need them.
Thank you for listening to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Make sure you tune in at 10 a.m. each day, Monday through Friday, right here on AM 1380 WYSH and BBB TV 12. Or listen live online at WYSHradio.com. And remember, if you have a question, comment, or problem, call in